Hello, everybody. Welcome back to The Big Thing. Have Mark Ellis here today. I finally watched The Suicide Squad. It's not going to be a spoiler review, but I'm definitely going to give my thoughts, talk to him about it. But before I even get into that with Mark, a reminder, speaking of Mark Ellis, myself and Mark, on October 8th in New York at the New York Comedy Club. You get tickets at markellis.live. It's me, and Mark's obviously going to be headlining. Ken Knapsack on the bill. Going to be a lot of people there, and Mark's also doing a show there on Thursday as well. I'm going to try to pop in, so hopefully you guys can obviously go there, support everybody. Mark is going to be there Thursday and Friday, and then we have the Schmoedown on Saturday night, so you can get those tickets at the schmoedownlive.com. Don't forget to subscribe to Apple Podcast and Spotify and all of that stuff. But we are now getting to the big thing. It's me. It's Mark Ellis. Here we go. Welcome back, everybody, to the big thing.
What was that look? You made a look like you made a face like you didn't execute something properly.
Yeah,
but that was just classic Wolfman Jack DJ.
Well, I'm getting used to it with
You're
this thing.
spinning records. You're hitting buttons.
I'm moving. I'm maneuvering.
You're influencing minds. You're shaping opinions.
Why do you hate the fucking headphones so much? I'm just curious. You always have. Since the Collider days, you just hate them.
Don't like stuff in my ears.
Do you not like to hear your voice? Be honest.
I don't need to hear my voice. Okay. I think a lot of people in our space, in our community,
love to hear the sound of their own voice.
Fall in love with their own voice. And I have a voice that is very fall and lovable. Yeah. And I do enjoy my voice. I just don't need to stroke the ego like that.
Someone told me yesterday, someone commented, a new fan who'd been, or rediscovering our stuff, was just saying how, oh no, you know what it was? I think it was, he found me from Kevin Smith's show, started listening, and thinks that you have the ultimate game show voice.
It's there.
It is.
It's
always
in
has
the wheelhouse.
Been. Yeah. He said, no offense to me. I said, none taken.
No whammies.
Yes.
I mean, I can really lean into
great
it.
At press your luck.
When I want to. It's tough to follow in the legendary footsteps of the late, great Peter Tamarkin. But
did he die?
Yeah, he died in an airplane accident. It was like a single or a double prop plane or something right out in the Santa Monica Ocean. The plane went down, and people were filming it from the beach. This was, I don't know, 6-7 years ago.
Oh, really?
Somewhere around there, yeah. And then it came out that Peter Tamarkin was on the plane, and it was just such a tragic event.
I used to watch that show religiously.
Yeah, the whammies were great. The whammies kept us kids in line.
I remember being in New York and getting ready to go out with friends, because they used to air it at, like, in the afternoon. It was on in the afternoon.
It was on in the afternoon. This is before the days of the Game Show Network.
Right.
And then Game Show Network, I believe, started airing old episodes of it again and again.
Yeah, definitely. Because there was a guy that beat the system. Did you ever see that
and
one?
They were going to make a movie about it.
Yeah.
And it was going to star Bill Murray as the guy.
Is that true?
Who beat the system. And then it kind of went apart in the 11th hour. Yeah.
Oh, my God. He would have been great as
It would have been great.
Holy shit.
And, like, if there's as far as game shows, we all know how Josh feels about Jeopardy. Yeah. What game show would you want to actually know? Let's do this for each other because we know each other pretty well.
Yeah.
We've worked together a few years.
What do you think?
What game show are you giving me?
Yeah.
And what game show am I giving you? Not to punish the person, not to F with them.
It's a good job.
We think we would excel at the best.
I just gave it to you.
You think Press Your Luck?
Press Your Luck would 100%. You would have been having fun because you could crack some jokes.
I think
in between.
Wheel of Fortune.
For me?
For me.
Oh, for you.
I'm taking mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Wheel of Fortune because
I could see that too.
You get to crack jokes.
Yeah.
I'm a good speller. That helps.
Yeah.
You know what? You can be Vanna. You can be, because you are going to be so befuddled.
I'm like, come on, asshole, it's right there.
Yeah, but
it's right there. It's tomato. How do you miss tomato?
You are going to be so preoccupied trying to find which one lights up.
Yeah, so like a dog or a cat with the light.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun torturing you. We should switch off. We should host Wheel of Fortune together and switch off nights.
Yeah, I'll give my cell phone. I would probably the dating game.
You'd be really good at the dating game. You're good at those, like, getting those questions in.
Yeah.
You know, getting inside somebody. You got, like, a real Brian Perez, don't be a beardo streak like that, where you just get into somebody's psyche.
Right.
So dating game for you would be pretty good. The newlywed game, I might give you, because it's sort of the same vein.
Or hosting or Harrison's old gig on The Bachelor.
Yeah.
It's a game show.
You would be...
What a gig that is. What?
Well, I mean, I don't know, because you produced it. How hard is it to host that show?
I mean, he was very good at his job. He's no longer there, obviously, but he was very good.
I just want to know because I'm a little cocky about it.
I have to tell you that I think that it's not that necessarily that it's hard, but you got to be good because my wife still watches I definitely watch Bachelor in Paradise. I think it's a train wreck, and I enjoy watching it. And the guy who's there's we'll jump back to the Harrison thing in a second, but there's a guy, is his name Brooks? I can't remember his name. The bartender, right? Yeah. This guy was a cast member on, I think he was even a cast member in Bachelor in Paradise at one point. Mm-hmm. Gets a job as a bartender as a goof, and he becomes the regular bartender. He's had that job for like 5 years.
Oh, what a gig.
What a job. And then I think he's like married to like one of the actresses in Modern Family. This guy is made like
being
made
a
out like
bartender on a show like that. We don't really have, I mean, look,
you can do anything.
I'm looking at gigs as far as how much fun can I have while I'm actually working, right? Because I enjoy having my fun, but I have to do the show first. It's like we tape Schmoedowns. I'm not drinking. I'm not really socializing until after the matches. So if we're taping 4 or 5 matches in a day, I'm going to be all business, and then afterwards is when Fun Mark comes out. That's when you do it. Is when you let your mullet down.
And I can't even do that. I decide I can't even do that. I'll have like a drink with you, or I'll have something.
Right.
But it's for me at this point, running all of it. It's like it's better that I just say, have a great time, guys.
Yeah.
Don't do anything stupid.
But that's the toughest thing. I think our job is a little similar to somebody who's hosting The Bachelor, just in the sense that you have those live shows that they do, particularly like the reaction shows or afterwards, where that's where you really got to be on your game because it's live. There's so much other stuff. Like you can tape that rose ceremony 10 times if you need to. If you need to get a pickup, it's pretty easy to do.
But he doesn't have to do anything for that. You know, it's like the majority of the night for the cocktail night and everything, he's not there. He's when they need him, like, okay, we're gonna get Harrison stuff at this point. All right, we need him to come in at 2 a.m, have him ready, put him up at the hotel. He comes in, he does his thing. But you know, he was married for a long time and then he wasn't, and that's gonna put a strain. That's the one reason I probably don't know if I would do it or want to do it, because
the travel.
That's why I didn't take a larger job at production there, because they wanted me as a on-set producer, but I didn't want to travel all the time.
No, you could have done that though when it was just you and your wife before you procreated.
When they offered me that, it was right when we were thinking about having Viv.
Yeah, that's if you're already kind of going down that path.
And we were working on our stuff at the time. You remember, I built a lot of the stuff that I was doing, the marketing stuff. It all came while I did my work when I was there, but I also did our work when I was there. And you know, it was
a nice little podcast studio for.
We used that
for a few weeks.
We used it for a while. It was a couple months.
Was it?
Yeah, we shot. We went in on the weekends and shot at the Bachelor Studios.
It was great for me because I think at that, we just roll over there on
10-15 minutes from where we were.
Hit Quiznos afterwards next to the strip club.
Yeah, and we shot like 3 or 4 episodes a day, or like 3 episodes. I think it was a day. We would shoot. We would go in the morning.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, we'd shoot. Yeah, we'd shoot like 3. We put like 3 in the can because remember that's when we had Katee, the producer. Not Katee Sackhoff. Katee,
right.
She would come in, and like Jeremy Johns was in that one time. He came in. We had Steve Renazzisi.
Yeah. Matt Atchity was in that.
That's when Atchity certified us. People still, all the YouTube people that are certified now, and all the people. There's a lot of places. Even there's always like, who was the first champion? Who was the first this? No one says the Schmoes, the first fucking certified YouTube reviewers. No one says it.
Sometimes when you make an accomplishment, they build you a statue outside the stadium, and everybody sees and everybody acknowledges that. Yeah. Oh, that's a forefather. And then sometimes you take a famous lightsaber and you bury it in the bottom basement of some bar in the middle of nowhere on a lake.
We are the buried lightsaber.
That's where our legacy is.
We are the buried lightsaber.
Somebody's going to discover it.
I got something fucking cool for you, though. I got something really cool for you. So a guy...
Going to the phone.
No. This guy wrote me, fan, and he's military. Mm-hmm. And he told me a story. And it's a crazy story. It's a really crazy story. Guy's name is Artie Burak.
Which USO tour did he see me on?
Well, listen to this. He says, this is here's the story. He said that it's a while ago, but he said when he was stationed in Guantanamo Bay, he was assigned to interrogate this guy.
Dagnino.
Yeah. Who they knew had very good intel on some people that they were trying to capture.
Okay.
His deployment was 9 months, and it took him a long time to crack this guy. So he said, long story short, he started playing Schmoedown matches in the day room for the prisoners, and he noticed that the guy that he was working on got really into the matches. And right before he finally requested the prisoner to be moved to a different cell away from his friends, he had no access to the day room anymore. So he would not find out what happened in any of the matches, and he ended up telling me everything that I needed to know in order to be able to watch some more of the Schmoedown and additional hours in the day room. He said the whole process took him 9 months. There was a lot missing, but at least you got the idea, as we said. And I responded to him, get out of here. Are you pulling my leg? The guy gave it up at the end for the matches. He said, dude, 9 months working on this dipshit, and he got addicted to the Schmoedown, and ultimately it was his downfall.
We got to get this guy drunk.
No shit.
We got to take this guy out for drinks.
I mean,
we got to squeeze this guy for information like he was squeezing the prisoner for information, because I want every ounce of this story.
Yep.
I need to know everything about this.
Everything.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, because he had wrote me a little while ago, and then I saw it. And then I reached out. I was like, "Could you tell me what it is?" And he wrote that. I said, "I gotta say it on the show." And he's like, "Absolutely. Just let me know when you're gonna." I mean, I said, I have to do it while you're on the show. I had to.
That is just so exciting. You got to think that guy, whoever the prisoner was, flipped out when Andreyko cleared the table.
100%. Because I want to know what match he was watching.
That guy was probably in the middle of Whitworth knapsack, and it's coming down to the wire.
And this dude said, "Nope, you got to either tell me where your boys are. You ain't gonna find out who won the fucking Star Wars."
That's how you do it.
That was beautiful.
We don't have to do any of those ancient medieval tactics. Don't need to waterboard anybody. Right. We don't need to play loud Lamb of God heavy metal. We just need to give him the Schmoedown.
That's it. That's all you got to do.
I never got to go to never been to Gitmo. Been to the Middle East 3 times.
Yeah, I know you have.
For the US Open.
But you got bit by the dogs, right?
Yeah, on purpose. Yeah. It wasn't like I was attacked by wild dogs.
No, you just walked in and you got
every time. Put on that big fat training suit. Let them bite me.
Have you done it every time?
Yeah, it's fun.
It looks fun.
I mean, it's fun, but holy crap! When you're actually in there and it's about to happen, you're like, okay, good doggy.
Because you got to even though they do it 1,000 times over, you're like, what if this is the one time where he actually makes it through the suit?
Well, because you got to remember, people who are training and they're training these dogs every day, they still are building a rapport with the dogs.
Right.
This dog Eddie doesn't know me from Adam.
Eddie.
So luckily, Eddie and I became good friends, and I keep up with Eddie. And
do you really?
Yeah. Yeah, with Eddie's owner. Yeah, Eddie's no longer in active service.
You don't email Eddie. Eddie's
I'm sure the emails get read to the dog. It's a German Shepherd, Kristian. It's a very smart animal.
German Shepherds are very smart animals.
Now I could read an email to Molly and she'd be passed out halfway through it. But the German Shepherds, they're alert, they're ready. As Freddie Lockhart says, they are the police officers of the dog community.
They are. Does he have a German Shepherd?
He's got one German Shepherd, and he's got another big one now. I don't know what it is, and then they have a tiny one that kind of rules the roost. So Freddie's just raising he's got a whole operation out there.
His posts and Jason Gillearn's posts really make my days. I really do, because Freddie's got it's like feel good posts.
Yeah,
and like he's just such a good guy, and Gillearn is just off his fucking rocker and just one of the funniest dudes out there.
It's just it's a weird, wacky, wild community.
And how much do you owe me that I was able to show you in the Brian Holtzman Instagram?
Yeah, that was pretty. Yeah,
that was a great discovery. Yeah. I'm very proud of that discovery.
Every time I see Holtzman, he just comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, how do you get so many Instagram followers?"
When you took that picture with him and you went, did you actually mention, because there's no chance here. I've performed with him so many different times.
I think he does remember you.
Does he?
I think so. Yeah.
Was there when he fought somebody at Dublin's, which was incredible.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. Did you ever wind up watching the documentary on the Comedy Store?
No.
You never watched it?
No, haven't done it yet. I mean, I probably won't have. I'll have some time in Vegas to just relax, but I'm going to just be working a lot on a lot of different stuff there, so maybe I'll fire it up. But, I heard about another documentary. I met a director. I was at the Comedy Store last night, and I met a director afterwards, and she has a new documentary that's coming out on Vice.
What is it?
That is called Too Soon, Stand-Up in the Aftermath of 9/11, I think is what it is. Because, there was a big thing where 9/11 happens, then all these... and then Comedy Club, it's like, well, what do we do? Are we allowed to go laugh? And so it's just people flooding comedy clubs the rest of that week, because what else are we going to do? And so it's the experiences of comics, of audience members, just kind of going through that process and dealing with the grieving thing. It's a very different situation now, but there is something that we all are experiencing that's very scary out there that comics are talking about with the pandemic. And so, we're coming up on the anniversary. And so it's just like this weird confluence of events where it feels very relevant. So I cannot wait to check it out.
Yeah, I'd like to check it out also. And it's funny because I've had this conversation with so many different people, and I'm sure you and I have talked about it before too, but George Carlin always said, anything can be funny. Mm-hmm. Not anyone can make anything funny. And it's true. I'll tell you what, Ari Shafir, I just saw him do a joke on Instagram recently. He'd posted something about it was after the buildings fell in Miami.
Yeah,
it's a joke. I mean, he goes somewhere and you're like, I can't believe you're joking about it. and a lot of people were offended by the joke. The joke's funny. As far as is it too soon? Maybe, but it's what he does and he basically is just talking about this one guy that was there in the whole thing. That he's like the guy was just leaving. He wasn't even living at the building. He was there he went home from one night stand. And
wow!
And he's like imagine this guy. You're like this never happens to me.
Yeah,
I'm lucky. Oh, man, this is lucky. And he goes into this whole thing, and it's like, it's one of those jokes. And Ari's always done this. It's one of those jokes. You're just like, oh, I can't believe he's going there. But it's a fucking clever joke. It's a funny joke. But like, there are not a lot of comedians that can do that. There are not a lot of comedians that are able to do that. And like you're saying with this too soon thing with 9/11, I remember being at the store, and I mean you
were already out here.
I was out. Right? I was out here. I didn't go to I wasn't at the store. I didn't start going to the Comedy Store like a lot until like I think it was like June or July. I had been there a couple times, but June or July of like 2002.
Okay.
That's when I started going there a lot. I started showcasing there in August. I got passed in November.
Yeah. It's a nice little short showcase window.
I mean, facetious or
no?
Oh, is that
not at all?
Okay, see, because right. There are other people. At the time I thought it was long.
Yeah,
right. Because and
no, it feels like a grind, but if you can make it through,
like summer camp
if you get past within the realm of one sports season, you're doing something right.
Yes,
even baseball.
I felt like I was in summer camp because I've told this story many times over, blue in the face. But like I don't know how it is now, how they showcase. I'm not sure.
I don't even know they are showcasing right now.
Yeah, but when they were doing it, I mean, the way that and I don't know how it was even when you did it, but like it was, I think, Sunday nights, Monday nights, and Tuesday nights were the showcase nights.
Potluck.
Yes, and it was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then you did 3, and then if you the first round you go back, you do 6, and then you do 10, right?
Yeah. And if you were on the showcase list, you could go up every one of those nights, regardless of whether Mitzi showed up.
So I can't remember the guy's name to this day. And I remember and I'm sorry to the people who've heard this story maybe 20 times, but I don't think I've ever talked about it with Mark. But this guy was like, yeah, I'm not going up tonight. She's not here.
You have those people that are just like,
what are you talking about?
Right.
You fucking 3 nights to go up to the Comedy Store. Where else are you going to go? You're going to go to the coffee shop down the block? Get the fuck on the stage. Shut up.
Yeah.
And this guy's like, nah. He like thought he was too good. Like she's got to see me. And that was one of the main reasons I think that because out of that class, it was only me and like one other person that got passed.
Yeah, I remember seeing people like do that process and go through. And I had the same attitude you did, but I was also by that time working at the comedy clubs. I can't escape anyway.
Yeah.
And so you might as well go up. But I wanted to just because, again, it's reps.
Right.
But you'd see people, and the fun thing for me is like people would come in and they'd like have an idea of what they're going to showcase with if Mitzi shows up.
Right.
And then if she doesn't show up, it's like, well, all right, now I'm just going to go up and I'm just going to kind of, try to feel something out, try to work on, tinker with something new. And so there's 1,000 different ways to skin that cat.
Yeah,
but the only way to do it would be
reps.
to continually go up on stage. And so when I started showcasing, Mitzi was there for the vast majority of my showcasing.
Yeah.
And then they started going to this thing where it was just an inevitability. It was just a question of what night I was going to get past.
Yeah.
And then that was when they started doing they'd videotape it.
Okay.
Did she ever watch any of these? I have no idea.
I don't know.
I have no idea. That's when it's like, wait, is Tommy Mitzi? Is Mitzi Tommy? You never really see him in the same place.
And Tommy was always fine to me. But do you know who Tommy really was at that point?
I wouldn't quite go as far as Norman Bates.
Wormtail from Lord of the Rings. The king is under a spell, and he's like talking through him and stuff.
Oh, really? Okay. I don't remember any of that from Lord of the Rings.
The dude from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is Wormtail, and he's just like, and the king is just Thorin is just. Is his name Thorin? I don't remember. But he's
we're not
we're not no. And he's just sitting there, and I remember it's definitely well, tell him you can't go up tonight.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen.
It was probably a conversation as simple as Tommy telling her, "Hey, that phone guy you like still is showcase." She's like, "Oh, he can be right."
That was I am very grateful that I had to interact with her a couple times, and the fact that she,
yeah,
you're very funny when I see you more at the club. And then I was, when you hear that, because You also think maybe because you hear horror stories like, oh, she loves somebody and then she forgot about them like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
later.
or she just like fires somebody.
Yeah,
like, I don't like your voice.
She could have changed. She could have changed it immediately. Saw me like another time. I'm like, oh no. And then I remember I was working at this management company, answering phones at the time, and then Duncan called me.
Yeah,
Duncan Trussell was a booker, and he's like, "Yeah, Mitzi likes you. You're in, buddy." And I was like, "What?" Woo! Screaming in the hallway. He's like, "Yeah, man." He goes, he'll scream it out.
It's like Rudy, like you don't know what to do. It's like, wait. I need to hear you say I made the team.
Well, Duncan, I knew Duncan from. I mean, he was one of the first comics I met, like at Luna Park, the old school Luna Park, and he would. Oh shit! I totally forgot about this until I just said it. I have it somewhere. So Duncan went in like '99, right? He brought me up, and there's a wrestling move called the rack that I did to people in college. And I told this story once. It was like I was hammered. There was this kid walking across the street. I walked up to him, racked him. Kid just went with it, put him down the street. He just walked away like a video game avatar, right?
Florida State, everybody. Top-notch education.
100%. About as meatheady as you get. But I went. I did it. It was just the fact. But you had this kid though. But going that story. Imagine you're just walking, doing your own thing. I wasn't like aggressive to him and violent to him. I just said, "Come here," picked him up, and he was like, "All right." I put him down. He never said, "What are you doing?" He didn't smile, and just it was straight up out of like Grand Theft Auto.
I'm sure you put a pep in his step.
It was funny, but anyway, point is,
guys, you'll never believe what happened. If one of the cool kids picked me up,
but Duncan Trussell and I have this video. He does some bit, and I racked him at Luna Park. And I have him in my arms, like holding him. I have to find this.
That sounds like something Duncan would
and he was loving
sign off on.
He was loving it.
He's just one of the most original.
Oh, that dummy. He doesn't bring the dummy up anymore, does he?
No, Little Hobo got stolen or like got lost or something. So now he's got like this whole thing about where is Little Hobo. But yeah, his Little Hobo sets were pretty great.
He's one of the guys that I would always watch because you just never knew what he was doing.
Painter. Yeah. I really enjoyed watching some of Rusty Dooley's prop work too.
Rusty Dooley was good with the Top Gun stuff that he would do.
Yeah, he was so much fun to watch how the audience would react to his stuff.
His energy was big, so they would put him on. They'd put him on, especially if they needed the energy of the room to go up. But speaking of energy, though, dude, Suicide Squad.
Yeah, the new one, James Gunn.
This movie's fucking awesome.
I am so glad you enjoyed it.
I didn't just enjoy it. I love this movie.
I have not seen the picture, but I've heard nothing but great things.
I loved this.
I got to see it. I'm not trying to be a rebel.
You've got to see this movie. And the reason why I wind up watching it last night is because somebody lit a fire under my ass and said, "Dude, it's going to be off HBO Max in like 4 days, 5 days." Yeah, same thing. So you want to watch it. You want to watch it. I should have told you so you could have watched it. We could have just done a whole spoiler thing today. For some reason I thought you already saw it.
Yeah, you mean you should have texted me about what we're talking about?
Yeah, but
before I started driving here.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, remind me though. After you're done with this.
Yeah.
There's another movie that I have to watch tonight. You're going to be very excited about. So
let's talk.
Put a pin in that.
We'll talk about that.
Yes.
So this will be a non-spoiler, even though tons of people have seen it already. Because I think I'm going to do a spoiler review on this channel.
You can spoil it for me. I'll live. If you want.
I mean, I'll throw some stuff in there for some people who, if you haven't seen it, maybe I don't know what the hell I'm going to say.
Well, you got to make a decision, Kristian. There's people out there watching that don't want to be spoiled.
Well, the hell with that. I'll do a spoiler review. Because you care?
This is him picking us up on his shoulders.
Do you not care? Are you serious?
No. I want you to express your artistic
This is my
vision.
favorite James Gunn movie.
Okay, now he's made the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Super. Yeah.
He's done a lot of those. He's got a great sense in music. He always has. Mm-hmm. It's front and center in this film. It does, where the first movie.
I was going to say the first movie puts it front and center too.
The first movie feels like an overall just like just throwing music in to throw it in. It's like, oh, here's a music video now. Every song fits the scene. You have been in reviews with me before where I've talked about John Cena and saying sometimes he's kind of corny. He doesn't really. I think he worked in Trainwreck and a couple of
blockers.
Mm-hmm. This is the best he's ever been.
Wow.
He's funny in this movie. He's got a edge to him. He is great in this movie. Idris Elba steals the show. This is
as he does.
But this is they couldn't get Will Smith and they wind up getting Idris Elba. Mm-hmm. You could tell maybe that it was rewritten a bit because they still have kind of the daughter part of it. it plays.
You got your Margot Robbie returning. You got your boy
Best she's been as
Jai
Harley
Courtney,
Quinn.
and you got your boy Joel Kinnaman returning.
All right, so this is where I'm going to give some spoilers. All right, I'm going to give spoilers here too. So if you haven't seen the Suicide Squad, you should tune out to it. And I'm even going to put it in the title that we're going to do a spoiler review here. So you clicked on it. And once again, you into our past. You talk about Jai Courtney.
You love the guy.
I was not a fan of him for a long time, and then
you met him.
Well, no, before that, he was in that movie with Angelina Jolie.
Oh yeah, the
whatever it was, not always, but that's a Spielberg.
The movie where the
Unbreakable.
She directed
Unbreakable.
it.
Not Unbreakable.
Unbroken. And then he was in The Water Diviner.
He was in a few movies. He was in a few movies as like a supporting character, and then he was in the Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad, the first one, which I didn't like that movie. Thought he was great, and even before I met him. Then I met him, and I interviewed him twice. And the first time I met him, I was like, this guy's he's a really fucking good dude.
Yeah.
Passionate dude. And then used in the right circumstances, I think he fell into that Sam Worthington thing of people just shoving him down your throat and saying, this is your star, this is your star, this is your star. But he was great. He is good in this movie, dead in first 10 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they set this
Buckle up.
They set this whole thing up. Michael Rooker is in. It opens with him, and he's sitting on the bench and he's listening to this music. And it opens up with Johnny Cash, Folsom County Blues, and he throws the handball. He kills this bird. And you see that's James Gunn telling you this movie's going to be, because of the way that it's shot, it's beautiful. It's the colors in this movie. He's going, you're going to see a lot of pretty colors because it's significant throughout the entire film. Pretty colors, fucked up characters, a lot of gruesome death, and he just kills the bird with a handball, right? And then Waller recruits him, says you're going on this mission, sends him on this beach, and Pete Davidson is one of the guys also. Winds up, and you think, okay, so it's our crew. It's there's a lot of different. Nathan Fillion is in this crew, and it's like this, and Harley Quinn is there, and this is where Boomerang comes in, and they send him in, and the humor in this movie,
I heard it plays like a hilarious dark comedy.
It's hysterical,
yeah,
and it's hysterical in a way that my biggest issue with Guardians of the Galaxy 2, are there funny jokes in that movie? Yes,
but it gets in the way.
It gets in the way. This does not get in the way. It feels like every part of it. It's like it's fucking lunacy. Lunacy from start to finish. It never feels like, well, that just came out of nowhere. No, he's been setting this shit up from the second it starts. And this is a 5 out of 5 movie, by the way. Easily. Like, it's one of my favorite movies that I've seen in a long time. I was hesitant at first when it started, and I'm watching and I'm going, okay, how goofy is this going to get? Is this going to be Guardians again, where everybody has a joke? And then it's just balls to the wall.
Hard R.
And everybody, but it's, even though people are, it's like, because the first one is really built on, well, these guys are villains, and you can't, it's like they're really bad guys. Idris Elba has it's the same way that Will Smith did. There's a goodness in there.
They have that odd code of chivalry.
Yes.
Where they're damaged individuals for the most part, but they still have some sort of moral code that may not fall into what society's morals are, but they have their own sort of path that they're walking.
Well, he's got this great scene with his daughter, and it's the lead girl from what's the Ava DuVernay? A
Wrinkle in Time?
Yes, thank you. And the lead kid in that movie plays his daughter, and they have this amazing scene where he's in jail right before, because Waller's trying to recruit him. He's like, no. And she's like, well, I guess someone's here to see you. And the daughter's there, and he's having this scene. And this scene between this kid who's phenomenal and Idris Elba, and they start, like, you're real, okay, he's going to be loving and caring to his daughter. They start screaming fuck you at each other because she says something like about she got caught for stealing, and she's waiting for him to go like, oh, I can't believe you did that. And he's like, next time have a lookout, right? And she's like, that's what you have to say to me? She goes, fuck you. He goes, no, fuck you. And they're screaming at each other.
Get ready to be the dad of a teenager.
But I'm telling you, I'm watching this and I'm like, oh, it's so real. They're going back and forth. And that's the reason why he goes on the mission, because Waller's like, well, look, she's 16 years old. We can put her in here with you now. If we wanted to. And he's like, you motherfucker. So he goes on this mission. There's an A team and a B team. The A team is the people that Boomerang and Rick Flag, Joel Kinnaman, who's again, same thing like Jai Courtney. people pushing him down your throat, going, he's the lead, put him in RoboCop, and then in side roles, he's great in this movie. Great. Him and Idris Elba and John Cena all have like the same type of skill, and they fought. Yeah. They're all like ex-military, and they and
who are we going against? Who's the main bad? Because that was the downfall of the first one to me. Because I was really having a good time with Suicide Squad for the first 2/3 of that movie. Then Enchantress reveals her full self, and I just thought it fell apart.
You don't have to have seen the first movie, by the way, to like this movie.
I wouldn't.
I think that they give you a little like nod saying, or a little nod and a wink saying, you know, there's a reason why Harley Quinn is pals with Rick Flag, and there's a reason why Boomerang and her are here. Because it exists, it exists, but it's not. But they don't make you rely on having to see it.
So who are we going after here?
So when they get to this beach, they're trying to figure out. It reminded me of Predator a little bit, right? Of like, well, why are we going here? It's like this group. And they just start getting picked off left and right. And everybody on the beach in the beginning gets killed except Rick Flag and Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn gets taken, and she winds up getting the German guy from you probably know him. He's a comedian, and he was in Pitch Perfect, and he used to do like he's been in our space before. I can't remember him. They'll start screaming at me about it. But he's got this staff that he gives Harley Quinn, and it's like this really like he does this a lot, James Gunn, throughout this movie. He's got like these misdirects. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, here we go. We got this nice scene, and he's telling her, take my my javelin. It's for you, and it's meant for. And he dies, and this music's blaring. She puts her hand. She goes to put his face, and then she slaps him like real hard. She goes, "It does what? Whack! It does what? You didn't tell me what it does." She's like beating the shit out of him. She's like laying there, right? And by the way, it's so graphic, and it doesn't look like Expendables blood coming out. It's like. There's stuff happening with
such an issue with CGI blood.
Yes, and there's CGI blood in here that looks great. And there's like, and it's just, you could just tell his horror instincts, like that fun kind of horror stuff that he did. What did he do? Slither? Is that the one that he did?
I think he did Slither, yeah.
So like,
which is really, really cool.
Like stuff like that, you could tell that this was a mixture for him of all the stuff that he's done in the past, but mixing it into like these anti-heroes in a big budget movie. The movie is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. There's a scene with Harley Quinn where she falls in love with like the president. So the answer to your question is like there's this government, they're mercenaries. They've done this. They've kind of overthrown the good people, and their family runs it, and there's this science experiment, this alien that they found. It's like it looks like a fucking starfish from SpongeBob SquarePants, actually,
or a xenomorph.
But and there's something happening with this starfish, and he's looking at it's very alien-esque. Like parts of the thing come out and can control their bodies, and they've had it, and he's trying to control it, right? So after they capture her on the beach, he falls in love with her. And he's like, look, you're anti-government. You always have been. Anti-America. I want you with me. And they have this whole scene, and it looks like I took pictures of it. It looks like artwork in a museum, the way that he shot this thing. But it's going along with the music and everything. And then he asks her to marry him, and she's like, absolutely, I'm in love. Blah blah blah. And he starts talking about all the stuff that he's going to do with this starfish. And he looks around, and she fucking shoots him and kills him.
Yeah.
She's like, I just had such bad luck with dudes, and hearing you talk about what you're doing, it's just not going to end well. And the guy's like crawling and trying to find his way to like, to breathe, and she's just talking over him. The acting president now comes in, captures her. But the funniest fucking scene in the whole movie, I was sitting here, I have not laughed out loud by myself sitting watching a movie since this film, and I did it like 5 or 6 times. But this one particular scene, so the B team, right? Idris Elba, John Cena, they have to go. They're gonna go rescue Rick Flag, and I have this girl. I can't remember her name. She can control rats.
Cool.
And David Dalsmashian, I always mess up his name. And he was an Ant-Man. He was in Clyde a handful of times.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Sweetheart of a guy, right? He's at every Marvel premiere.
Yeah.
He plays the polka dot man, and he's got like this thing happening with him, and like these polka dots are coming up, but he's got to let them loose, and they destroy people's bodies and acids and stuff too. Like his mother experimented on him when he was younger, and that's what he always wanted to be, a superhero. and he's been in tons of shit and has been great. This is the best he's ever been, right? So, and then Stallone plays the shark.
Yeah, right.
And
yeah.
Nom Nom or whatever the hell the guy's name. He says Nom Nom. That's what he wants to eat. And the girl, though, the girl who controls rats, is really like the heart of the story because Idris Elba sees his daughter in him and even says as much. So and it's not. And what I was worried about is there's gonna be all this conflict with all of them, and like they didn't want to work with each other. Rick Flag and Idris Elba have been working together they worked together in the past. They're buddies, and they work together fine. But Flag has gotten captured at this point, so they need to go find him. And they said, "Oh, we know the village." So Cena and Elba are kind of butting heads because they both have the same exact skill, and they're both like assassins. And the dialogue. Walking up and talking about it. I think it was in a trailer, the bag of dicks thing. Have you seen that? It's just
sure. Yeah.
But anyway, then they start to have a competition. They start going into this village, and they're brutally murdering every one of these soldiers, like just taking them out. And they've creative ways to do it. Elba looks at Cena and electrocutes a guy who's taking a bath. The guy they rip a guy's head off. They're just killing everybody left and right. And the shark is eating people, killing everybody.
Love it.
They walk in, they see, and they get Rick Flag, and he's sitting there with a drink and talking to the woman. He's like, "What the hell's going on?" He's like, "Oh, these are the guys that rescued me." They fucking killed the whole village full of mercenaries that saved Rick Flag. It was brilliant. They set it up as if they're wrecking shop like in Predator.
Yeah.
But they just fucking killed all the guys who helped Rick Flag.
That's hilarious.
It was hysterical. And then there's so much more that happens, scenes like that throughout it, and they go back and forth, and there's like a mixture in time of how they maneuver. It's so creative. It's so fun. It's a shame that this movie didn't crush. This is one of the most original, I don't want to say superhero, but comic book movies since like Kick-Ass.
Yeah, can you compare it to anything?
It's got like a Kick-Ass feel. I mean, but times 1,000. Where Kick-Ass was just raw.
Mm-hmm.
This movie it's gorgeous in the way that it's shot. It's creative and you know me. When it's just like excessive, it's like, this guy's just trying to be artsy fartsy. It fits. Like there's stuff like when Harley Quinn gets out, she breaks out of she's being held captive, and she breaks out and she's killing all of her captors, and there's like these petals and flowers kind of flying up behind her, and it's gorgeous the way that it all works. Yeah, I mean, and again, like I'm so attached to all of the characters watching it. I was really attached to Cena in the fact that he was so good and so clever and so funny in this movie. Like the way his delivery was really good. Alba's hands down my favorite throughout the whole thing. But the girl's really good. And I forget which one of the Doctor Who's plays one of the villains also. But it's the starfish thing at the end it gets loose.
Yeah.
And that's when they have to like try to bring it down together, because Amanda Waller is a part of this whole thing. It's like the American government was part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And like it's like you said before, this moral compass of what do we do? It's not always going to go the way. This movie is not conventional. You can't predict it. Like it's like normally the things that normally happen, the normal tropes that happen, they don't happen in this movie. And it's very like there's some fun, shocking moments throughout the entire thing.
Are we looking at a sequel? Is there a post-credit scene to stick around
Absolutely there is. Rick Flag fucking eats it, by the way. And I was so devastated by that. I've never been a Kinnaman fan, because he was so good in this movie.
Yeah.
And Cena kills him. And because Cena doesn't necessarily turn, but he's working for Waller, and he's like they get this chip that basically says to about that the Americans were involved in it, and she wants it all destroyed. And Flag's like, no, we got to release this to the public. And Cena's like, no, that's not our objective. And because his name's Peacemaker, he's like, well, what are we talking about here? And they start fighting. And he feels bad about it, Cena, when they're fighting, but then he realizes at the end he's got to do what he's doing, because Flag's ready to kill him. He's ready to choke him, and then Cena stabs him in the heart, kills him. But it's they set it because Cena comes, because Idris Elba kills him at the end, you think. But in the post-credit scene, he survived.
Okay.
So they set it up for a sequel. I just worry because the movies, you can tell that it was expensive. I mean, it's an expensive movie.
It was, yeah. I think I can't remember what I read the budget was, but I think it was like 80.
No, that movie did not cost
70, 80
to make.
I don't know.
No fucking way. That movie has to cost at least $150 million.
Wow,
if not more.
Really?
Yeah.
He's looking it up, folks.
I'm gonna look at just from the salaries alone. I would assume
he's going to the glasses.
I'm gonna not yet. I'm not, but I'm putting in. I haven't even used Box Office Mojo in so long.
It's such a terrible.
This movie sucks now.
My goodness, what are you thinking when you're rebranding something? Like, hey, let's make it unusable.
Let's see. I'm gonna see how much.
Make it unutilizable.
Well, so it made 52 domestic. International made 102. Made 155
probably got some,
so far.
What is it? HBO Max probably got some subscribers.
That's what you would hope.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I don't know how you even read the budget. A budget was 185 million.
Woo!
Yeah, you can tell too when you see this you can tell. But the movie
was a pretty penny.
Remember, that movie was not made for HBO Max. It was made before there was a pandemic. It was made for all this stuff. So, but you can tell, man. You can really tell that how much effort and love this guy put in this movie. I thought I would like it. I didn't know that I would love it the way that I did. I loved this movie.
Good for you.
It was great.
Favorite comic book movies of all time. Is this in the top 10?
Recency bias. Right now, I'd say yes. But recency bias.
Yeah, you got to really sit down and think about all the comic book movies you've seen. Like, how does this stack up to the original Superman? How does this stack up to 89 Batman or even Batman Begins or The Dark Knight?
I'll tell you how it stacks up to both Superman and Batman 89 because those are both movies that changed the game, right?
Yeah.
Because nobody was doing superhero movies that you took serious until Superman came out, and then Batman was Adam West until Michael Keaton hit there, and that was you and I remember that was what a blockbuster was all about.
That entire summer
was
all about Batman.
Lines wrapped around the block, shirts everywhere you went,
the Converse shoes,
the comic books. I mean, everything.
Prince on the radio.
Everything. It was massive, right? So that kind of changed the game. So how does it compare? Is that it's different in genre. This movie is a different type of movie. And I'm telling you, the best way I could, and it's a compliment. It's fucking crazy.
All right, I'll watch it.
It is a crazy movie, and I enjoyed every second of it. I thought the stuff they did with the shark and Stallone, you go, yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, so where do I watch it if it's gone from HBO Max in like 4 days?
So I think you're going to still be able to
rent it?
I think you can still rent it.
Okay.
And then I think that it's going to be back on HBO Max in, I don't know, a couple of months. But
probably going to happen.
You should watch it.
I'll try to catch it. Try to catch it this weekend.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
It's like, and that was my biggest concern was, as you know, like when, like if
the humor gets in the way,
if it doesn't feel like it works.
Yeah.
There's a scene that there's so many funny scenes in this movie. There's a scene where they're walking through. They had gone through that whole Rick Flag thing I told you about, and then they go back. They go 7 minutes earlier because these explosives go off, and now it's like a Tarantino type of throw, right? Like 7 minutes earlier, you see how we led to those explosions going off. But so Idris Elba, Harley Quinn, Polka Dot Man, and then this security a guy that's been helping them, this guy Milton. He's a regular guy, who's been helping them out. They're walking through this, like, it's like an office building, and it's quiet, and then soldiers pop out and start shooting. Milton's dead, goes down, right?
Yeah, I was gonna guess.
And so it just hits the side. Harley Quinn hits the side. Polka Dot Man is upset, and he's just like, they killed Milton. They killed Milton. And then Elba goes, Milton was still with us? He was with us? And he's like, what do you mean? He's been with us the whole time. He's like, I thought he stayed in the car. And Harley Quinn goes, who's Milton? Then they have this. He's like, you don't know? He's like, you're kidding me, right? You don't know who Milton is? Like, he's been around, blah, blah. And she's like, no, got no recollection of a Milton. She comes out. She goes like, oh, that's Milton, right? She's like, oh, I remember him.
Love it.
And then at the end of the movie, after it's all over, they're having a conversation, Harley Quinn and because Polka Dot Man fucking eats it too. I was very upset about that. But then Idris Elba is talking to Harley Quinn, and she's like, I can be your friend, Milton. And he goes, not my name. And she goes, yeah, it is. We just had a whole conversation about it. He's like, no, not my name. And it was like, that is how she would act. She's out of her fucking mind. It's set with him. He didn't he wasn't the one. I was worried he was going to be the one going, who's Milton? He just forgot Milton was there. He knew he was. He just forgot that he was there. And it was each bit of humor fit each character. And like the Polka Dot Man had like these mommy issues, and every time he saw like he wasn't like a really evil guy. He was just a guy that was tortured by I think somebody calls him Norman Bates at one point, and it is. I am definitely going to watch this movie again.
I haven't heard a bad thing about it. From anyone that I've seen discuss this movie, have not heard a bad thing about it.
Fucking bummer that it didn't do as well, because I definitely want to see a sequel, and I definitely want to see him. If you told me right now you only get the Suicide Squad 2, which is really what it would be, or Guardians 3, the Suicide Squad 2.
Really?
Every day.
Yeah.
I prefer this over both Guardians 1 and Guardians 2. It's just very different.
Wow.
It's my type of movie, and I think it's your type of movie too, because it's funny, dude.
Okay,
it's really funny.
I'm in.
Yeah, and the music, I got the soundtrack ready as soon as, because you're a soundtrack guy. Yeah, it's got a great soundtrack.
Well, it's like when we left Baby Driver. It's like, man, the music just didn't get in the way. It accelerated the action. It accelerated it, as opposed to the first one where it was just beating you over the head. It's like, here's a music video now, and it's like, right.
The music dominates in this movie, but it's for a purpose.
Yeah.
So anyway, I loved it. I mean, I really did. I think that for those people who were telling me to get on it, watch it, you were right, 100%.
5 out of 5 Schmoes.
Easily.
From Kristian Harloff.
One of my favorite movies that I've seen in a long time.
The ultimate honor you can bestow upon a picture.
Yeah, it is easily one of my favorite movies that I've seen in a while. And in DC, it might be, not including the Nolan trilogy, probably it's up there.
They made a third Batman movie?
What's that? You hate that movie, huh? I like that movie. I
can go along with it for a little bit, but man, that movie just bugs me.
I got to rewatch it.
It just bugs me more and more. There's good in it, but it's like I'm Luke talking to Vader. I'm like, look, I know there's good in you, but kind of ruining some shit here.
I know you never faulted from that.
I will never forgive that movie.
No, I like that movie.
So I have a movie I need to watch.
Oh yeah, what are you gonna watch?
Before the Suicide Squad.
Yes.
Because it's for work. This is a movie.
Yes.
Note, I didn't burp during his review. This is a movie that I'm watching tonight because...
It's not a review yet. It's a preview.
For Rotten Tomatoes is on the podcast. Now, you're going to get upset.
Can I guess first what it is before you give me some hints and I'll guess?
I'm going to say you're going to be very upset that you are not the guest on this show.
Okay. Is it one of the Rocky movies? You've seen all the Rocky movies.
Yes. It's got to be a movie I have not seen.
It's something you've never seen.
And it is a comedy.
A comedy?
Yes.
Is it a sports comedy?
Yes.
I wouldn't count the program as a sports comedy.
Neither would I.
Okay.
Some dramatic
it's a
stuff.
Sports comedy.
Sports comedy.
Well, if you give me the movie, if you give
ridiculous, harebrained.
Not Caddyshack.
Extreme sport.
Extreme sport
fits in the X Games mold.
I
believe you're one of the big champions of this movie.
It's not Hot Rod.
It is Hot Rod.
I'm not a champion of that movie.
I thought you. I thought you were. I couldn't quite remember because I think a few of the Wangers love it.
No, I just spoke about this movie. It's so funny you bring that up. I am actually upset that I'm not watching it with you because it's funny you bring this up. I talked about this movie 2 or 3 episodes ago.
That's what I do. I lend magic to a podcast.
You were listening to the episode and decided you were going to lie and say you were going to see this movie. But it's one of the few movies I walked out on.
You walked out of Hot Rod.
Yeah, because I had seen the movie. It was before we were getting screenings, right? And we had to review one of the Harry Potter movies. So you weren't with me. It was me and Mike Citizen.
Okay.
And so we saw the Harry Potter movie, and then we was like, all right, well we watch that. Let's wash it down with a comedy. And Andy Samberg, who was a guy,
and it's in the theater. Are you theater hopping?
Yeah. We're at the Grove, and so we go in there, and I was. Obviously, just to do stand-up with Andy, so we wanted to support by going in free to his movie. And watching it, excited for it, and I'm going, this is fucking stupid. And I left. But everybody swears by the movie. I've not seen it since it came out in the theater. I might have just been exhausted from Harry Potter, from watching, 2.5 hours. It's a lot. And maybe just wasn't in the mood to do it. I was so I think I have to go back and watch it. People swear by it. I have to watch it.
People love it. Is not well. It's not high on the tomato meter. Just why we're talking about it.
Do you know what it is? The score? Because I'd like to guess.
I do not, but I will look it up while you tabulate.
I'm going to say 34%.
I think it's probably lower.
Is it lower than 34%?
I want to say it's like in the teens, but apparently our beloved guest, which is the only reason you're not on.
Who's the guest?
Chance the Rapper loves this movie.
I can see getting
over
Chance. I think you say Chance Ellison.
Hot Rod.
Yeah, what do you got?
39%. You're pretty close.
Oh, it's pretty close.
But the audience score is fresh, 64%.
Audience loves it. I don't know. I'm gonna give it another shot.
Because I love Pop Star.
Pop Star is funny as
Never
hell.
Never Stopping or whatever it is.
That movie didn't do very well. That movie.
No, it didn't at all. I mean, neither did Hot Rod. But
so I saw that one. I don't know if you were with us.
I was.
But I was definitely sitting next to Makuga.
Yeah, you and I, and I guess Josh. Yeah. Josh was our Milton, because I don't remember him being at that screening, but I remember laughing a lot at everybody, but Tim Meadows stole a lot of that movie from me. Tim Meadows is great.
That one I thought my wife was going to like. She
didn't bite.
No, she didn't bite on that. Because the comedies are like the other, there's tons of, like I didn't even attempt to watch The Suicide Squad with her. She would hate the movie.
Why? Because the violence?
The talking raccoons and talking sharks, she's out. Right, but like
really, that seems to be what attracts people. Does she not like chimpanzees and tuxedos? Because
maybe not, but she was not.
Everybody likes that.
Well, I didn't even bother because I did exactly what I told myself I was going to do a month ago. Grabbed some popcorn, smoked a little bowl, had a not a beer, but just had a drink back here. Put on the TV, put up the sound, and I let it blast. That's one of the reasons I was putting it off. I didn't want to have to keep putting the volume down because people were sleeping in the house, or put the subtitles on.
You wanted the full Suicide Squad experience.
The dog and I came back here. The dude just crashed. By
the way, he's keeping the dude away from me
again.
Second week in a row.
I know the dude just crashed on the floor, out cold, and blasted as the sound is blasting through it like a surround sound. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And just everything like how I wanted to see this movie. So, but yeah, I didn't even attempt to try to get her to watch it. But I'm doing all these. We're doing the rewatches of the Star Wars movies for Sith Council.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to start watching them back here though too, because it's just such a. I freaked out though. I went to turn my TV on and it wasn't turning on, and I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? That this thing shorted out?" And I'm hitting the remote, and I'm like, "The battery's out." I'm redoing the batteries, and I don't know what's happening. So finally, I'm like freaking out. I'm like, this TV's like 7 months old or whatever it is.
Yeah. And
so finally, I don't know how, but it was connected to my Roku also, and it turns on. But the big remote, the batteries were shit. All the batteries in here were shit, but I replaced them. But it finally turned on last night. But man,
that's the worst is when you're like really excited and prepare for something. You got your snacks, you got your drink.
15, 20 minutes.
You're in the right mental state. Then you just hit a button and it doesn't work. And you're like, oh, God. You know what? I love that scene in Spanglish, that movie with Adam Sandler.
Yeah, I've never. Paz Vega, right?
There's this scene where he's like this high-end chef. Yeah. And he's been working all day. He's been dealing with family. He's been dealing with work, with everything. And he gets home. Everybody in the house is asleep. And he's like, finally. So he makes himself this sandwich. Yeah. It's like yay big. And he makes an egg and he puts it on there and he's just got everything and he's just got his paper and he pours himself a beer and it's like a 30-minute process, but he's finally here at the moment. He's about to take a bite and then like one of the kids wakes up or something, and it's just like you just work so hard. The best laid plans.
It happens to me all the time. When I get ready to have some snack ready, this, that. I don't know, something I was about to watch. Either somebody comes in, wants to watch something else, the kid wakes up, tell me a story, and it's part of being a dad. But not last night. I'll tell you, like I wound up, I tweeted out last night because I was like 50 minutes into it, loving it, tweeted out about it. People were like, left me hanging. The truth behind it was I couldn't finish it all. So I woke up first thing in the morning and finished it back here.
Okay.
And it was so that I wanted it all fresh in my head. So, yeah, man, I know I obviously spoiled the whole movie for you, but you should. It's worth the watch.
No, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch it.
But that's cool. Hot Rod, you're watching, and then
check this out.
Yeah, what do you got?
So I downloaded this app last week. It's a sleep app. In case we ever get sponsored by a sleep app, I won't say which sleep.
This is not a sponsor at the moment.
No. This is actually my real life. So it tracks your sleep. Okay. You put it on the nightstand. You don't have to wear any apparatus. Yeah. You put it on the nightstand, and then you hit start when it's bedtime.
Yeah.
And it tracks your sleep, and it gives you all these stats, but it also selects recordings from the evening
of what you've done
for you to listen to. And it'll try to be like, oh, this is Mark snoring.
Yeah.
This is Mark talking in his sleep.
Did you do that? Play it. play.
I don't play it every day because I'm afraid I'm gonna hear like die. Like I don't know what I'm gonna hear.
So basically, Wormtongue will be talking through you.
Yeah. So that's at 6:13. That might have been. I don't know what.
Yeah,
What
time you go to sleep? Put it to the mic. Put it to the mic. No, over like this. Like this. What's going on here?
That was apparently talking. This is going to be great, though, because you're definitely going to hear Molly snoring, because that's the thing. I'm not sure.
Who snores louder, you or Molly?
Molly. I'm not sure if it's accurately tracking my sleep, because like one time.
Tracking the dog's sleep?
One time it said baby fussing, and I hit play.
It's dog.
Yeah, but I was nervous a minute. I'm like, is there the ghost of a kid haunting me?
Right.
So this is going to be snoring.
Oh, so it's going to. Right. Just sounds like static, dude.
That's the dog.
Yeah, it sounds like static.
That's the dog. Okay, let's try one more.
It's like white noise. I heard that.
That's
that sounded
the dog.
like,
One more.
like a
Here it
fart.
comes.
I heard that. It sounded like a big fart.
That's the dog.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like a dog.
That's the dog. Oh, my God.
Anyway, what else you got? So, no word on. Look,
What?
we're not going to talk about this?
It's great. I'm glad you're happy.
I'm super happy.
Didn't
I tell you I was going to do it?
You did,
Yeah.
and you got very excited about
did.
it, and you showed me a picture.
I did.
And I was happy for you.
Yes.
And if you see, I'm trying to think like if we were back in the Schmoes day, where
For the audio listeners, I'm showing him the Tony Soprano
it's
picture.
Schmoes Know. I'm pretty sure they figured it out. Schmoes Know.
Yes.
Where we have our background, we're doing like our weekly Wednesday or Thursday show. If you had been like, okay, I really want this to be in the background. I'm trying to think of like would I have been cool with it.
At my house, you were fine with it.
No, at Collider when we had.
I think you would have been fine with it.
I think I would have been very happy with it because it's a cool look.
It's great.
And it's not the normal pop toy bobblehead.
You know what the crazy thing is? That back then we could have gotten that because this show's been off the air for like 14 years.
Well, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's
your fault.
I'm fucking obsessed with it because I'm sitting here watching.
Did you really watch the Suicide Squad, or you just come in here and get high and stare at the painting for 2 hours?
I did both. I was absolutely watching the movie, and then I found myself going, man, it's a great picture. It's really good. Kevin Smets texted me.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, you got to take a picture of it and show me where it is. And I sent it to him. He's like, it's beautiful. It's a thing of beauty. It's like what I love about it is people who don't know The Sopranos have no idea what it is. No clue.
No.
Yeah, because you haven't seen the episode yet.
You got to figure out a way when you have guests in here.
Yeah.
You got to figure out a way. Maybe early in the show, ask them if they've ever seen The Sopranos. Just kind of do it flippantly, like talk about the many saints, whatever it is.
Right.
Figure out if they've seen it, and then go away. Go away from The Sopranos.
Yeah, and to see if they bring it up.
And then, like, the kicker at the end of the show is this, hey, look at that and tell me what do you think that is.
Bring it up in the beginning and then back at the end.
Because it's not overwhelming that it's Tony Soprano.
No, it's not.
It kind of looks like Gandolfini, but again, I know what it's from.
The Napoleon outfit throws it off. If it was the original, there's two photos that I was going back and forth on. The first one is the one that he actually asked the guy to paint.
It's the one that he had commissioned, and then this is the
Pauly one. This is the Pauly Walnuts one. So
I would have guessed it's from that movie Get Shorty, where they have Danny DeVito playing Napoleon.
It's a good one too. So Katee Sackhoff is supposed to come on the show coming in tape next week. So probably airing in like a week and a half.
Good.
Right? To which I'm going to see. Hopefully you're available. You can come in for that show.
I am in Vegas.
Next Friday you are?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, it won't be you. Anyway.
Not going to be me.
So do we think that Katee used to watch The Sopranos is the first question. The second question is, will she recognize the poster?
I think Katee has seen less than 50% of The Sopranos, but I think she's seen episodes. I don't think she's watched it straight through. I don't know. I mean, again, she's in the biz.
She won't get it. I bet you she watched a few episodes.
I think she will.
You think she's going to know what that is?
I think it's just enough like Gandolfini. I have that much faith in our friend Katee.
All right. We'll see. We'll debate it when she comes in.
Six-pack?
What? Six-pack? What the fuck are you talking about?
It's like I'm talking to a wall.
Yeah.
Bet a six-pack.
Oh, you want to bet a six-pack? Sure. I don't drink. I don't drink that much. What, six-pack for you?
Then I'll drink it.
Bottle of wine for me. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of equal or lesser value.
I told you what I'm doing for my birthday.
What?
The wife's making
roast.
No, not roasting. I'll roast you from my house.
Okay.
My wife is making baked ziti.
Yeah.
bottle of wine. Many Saints in Newark. The prequel to Sopranos comes out on my birthday.
Oh, yes.
On HBO Max.
Oh, look at this.
Perfect.
Did they put ricotta cheese in Big Ziti?
Yes. No. Mozzarella.
Yeah, I just cannot stand the look, the texture, anything about ricotta cheese. I am so out.
It depends, I think.
Because lasagna sounds like my favorite food of all time.
Oh, it's so
if you
good.
just get the ricotta out of there.
That's what makes the dish.
No, it doesn't, Kristian.
it does.
You can have layers of pasta and cheese and sauce without getting ricotta involved.
I do things to lasagna that my wife makes a great lasagna. And
that sounded very, very American Pie dirty. I do things to lasagna.
I do things to lasagna that Italian people might get mad at me.
Did Eugene Levy walk in on you with a lasagna?
What are you doing?
This just bad reception is all.
You're gonna hate this because there's no chance that you like this. I've been doing it a lot with pizza. And people are gonna lose their fucking minds when I say this.
If you say pineapple, I'm walking out of the studio.
Get the fuck out of here, pineapple. What do you think? I'm Russian?
I
put
RB3's book.
I put goat cheese.
Nope, I'm out.
I put some goat cheese on lasagna sometimes.
Yeah.
I put some goat cheese on my pasta sometimes.
Nope.
I know.
Yep.
It was a dish that I had tried once before to just add it, and it works for me.
Your tastes do continue to change and evolve as you get older. Even for me, I'll admit that, a creature of habit. 10 years ago, you would not find me dead eating. I can choke down sushi on a date, but no. You could not find me dead with an avocado.
I'm not going on a date with you.
With guacamole.
Yeah.
We went on a sushi date. It already happened.
It's true.
It's canon.
That's right.
Pesto, I've become a big fan of recently.
Pesto's good.
So black beans, I never ate when I was like in my formative years. Love me some black beans now. So,
you're moving.
I'm getting there.
You're moving. You're shaking.
I'm getting there. But you said you weigh yourself every day, and I don't want you to do that.
Why not?
I want you to do it once a week.
No.
You can't tell your trainer no.
When did you become a trainer? You just wanted to bet me a six-pack. Kind of fucking bullshit trainer
I
is that?
heard you ruin a movie for me and then top it off with a little sprinkle of goat cheese.
You told me to.
You're weighing yourself once a week, you fat ass.
I'm sorry. I did it. You did it, didn't you? How 3 times? I did it 3 times.
Because before we started the show, he's like, "Hey man, I tell you I'm down to 198." I'm like, "You told me that a month ago." And then you're like, "Yeah, I went back.
I went back up to 203, and then I dropped.
I just feel you're torturing yourself because
I'm
you do it
putting
every
goat
day.
cheese on fucking lasagna every night. That's why.
But again, you're eating well.
I'm eating well. I'm eating better.
Your head, there is this giant tug of war happening.
It is
between you wanting to get in shape and more svelte and healthier. But there's the other side of you that wants to be that so
100%.
bad. 100%. You want to be Tony Soprano.
As far as what
so bad.
Oh, when he's crushing the gabagool. When he's crushing all that stuff, I'm like, oh, throw it in my face. And then when
a lot of food porn in The Sopranos.
Because here's the problem with because my wife even called me out the other day. I was when I had dropped the significant amount of weight and everything, I was being very strict. It was just like chicken and salmon and brown rice. That was it.
Yeah.
I'm throwing little cheats in here too. My wife's like, "Did you just crush a half a gallon of 1% milk in like a day and a half?" I was like, "We had a lot of banana bread." She's like, "None of that is supposed to be what you're supposed to be."
You just make up for it on the back end.
Well,
you take a little something out the next.
It's not a problem of the drop in the weight as much as it's like cholesterol wise, milk and banana bread and cheese is probably not the best for you. It's the whole reason I started this in the first place. It's just dairy is my vice, man.
Yeah, and I enjoy dairy. I really have very little.
You don't care.
You know what I realized? You go back and watch a lot of those Schmoes no vids. I'm breaking out. I'm a 30-year-old man, and I'm breaking out everywhere.
There are a lot of them sometimes, yeah. Sometimes they would just like pop.
Sometimes
they say hello. You just look around and go, hi.
Yeah, there's multiple reviews. If I don't like the way he reviewed a movie, I just explode.
Yeah, but I became like Neo at one point. I expected it coming.
We're talking about Harry Potter. It's just
just move.
But I stopped eating dairy, and then
that's it.
Yeah. Flush it out.
This is actually a very.
I think we learned some stuff.
It's a therapeutic conversation I have with you.
I hope for you.
It was great
because I got nothing out of it.
Good. Well, listen, we're gonna get some stuff out of this. October 8th.
God, I hope so.
October 8th, everyone. Get on over to the New York Comedy Club. If you're gonna be in New York, if you're gonna be in the area, hell, if you're in Boston, you want to drive in. You're Philly, drive in. Come on, come see us.
Take the train.
October 8th.
45 minutes out of your life.
Are there tickets left? Do you know?
I know they're selling very well for both nights, so
Great.
Thursday and Friday. So you probably want to hop on those now, kids.
All right, so it's the Schmoedown. Well, yeah, I think you can get them at the Schmoedownlive.com.
You should be able to.
Go to Mark Ellis.
After 10 years of jerking your chain, be like, hey, is there any way
you could put them on the site?
that we could put it on the site?
JP probably handled it. MarkEllis.live. Get on over there. Buy the tickets. I'm going to be on the Friday show. Mark's doing a show on Thursday and Friday. Ken Knapsack will be on both shows on Thursday and Friday.
Oh, God, really?
Yeah, you're the one that booked him.
I did?
Yeah, and it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited. Milton. So bring your Miltons. And by the way, if you haven't had a chance to do it, bring your Miltons. If you haven't had a chance to do it, please subscribe to this show on podcast form, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever podcasts are found. As I was going back and forth and interacting with the audience, I saw a lot of people asking that question, is available on podcasts. It is actually crucial to the fact that if you guys, even if you are watching this on YouTube, if you're a brand new subscriber and you just rediscovered us again, subscribe to the podcast feed and download the episodes. They help us because we're not doing the super chats and the Streamlabs and the robots and all that stuff. We are going right after podcast advertising. We've got some great podcast advertisers so far. The people that we're working with right now, I'm super happy with. And we can do more. We just need you guys to check out the podcast episodes. Please do it. Mark Ellis is here. We'll see him hopefully. Well, you're going to be gone all next week?
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm really nervous because I'm going to do the sleep tracker thing.
Yeah.
But I'm nervous about firing it up in a hotel room.
Because who knows what's going to happen? You're going to hear stuff going on in the other walls.
What's going to happen?
Yeah, it's true.
Hotel rooms notoriously haunted.
You can get another sex joke out of it.
I don't know. The one I got now is pretty good.
It's pretty good. All right, so go watch Jurassic Park, everybody. We'll see you guys whenever you want. All right, check us out, by the way. And don't forget, the episode on Monday will be myself, Kate, and Brett. We're going to be talking about some shit. Wednesday will be a new guest.
I can't follow them.
Katee Sackhoff's coming on soon. Don't forget about the rewatches, by the way. The rewatches of Sith Council. It's every Friday. Check out the old one. We did Phantom Menace. We did Attack of the Clones. We're doing Revenge of the Sith on Friday. That's it. Peace out, you rats.